Hey y'all, it's Teresa. Thanks for joining me again on my channel for another video. Today I'm sharing some of our suppers. The very first one I'm going to share are these patty melts. I'm starting off with a pound of ground beef and I'm just going to season those to taste. You can add whatever seasonings you like. And then I'm just going to take my hands and get down in there, girl. I'm going to mix this all the way up. Some people like to use spatulas and things like that. I like to go ahead and use my hands because this may all be in my head, but I can feel when it's ready, okay? I can feel when the meat is ready. So I was just mixing it up, and then I'm going to put a little bit of grapeseed oil in my pan. I'm going to put that on the stove on medium-high heat, and then I'm going to take the ground beef and I'm just going to press it together in my hands and make these little homemade patties. They're not going to be perfect, not going for perfect, and when they are ready I'm just going to pop them into the skillet and they're just going to start frying up. Now I don't add any egg or anything to my ground beef when I'm making it like that. They tend to stick together if I just put them in the skillet and I don't move them until I'm ready to flip them. As you can see here, they're sticking together, and so I'm just going to go ahead and cook these right up. So while my meat is still cooking, I'm going to go ahead and make a little bit of a topping for them. And what I like to do is I like to chop up some onion and some bacon really tiny. And then I'm going to put it in some butter and I'm just going to brown it up. So now I'm going to take my patties and I'm just going to put it on regular bread. You can use whatever bread you got. This is wheat bread and I shared this with y'all in a grocery haul. And so I'm just going to put the patties on the wheat bread, and then I'm going to use some sharp cheddar cheese. I actually got this cheese from my parents, so you won't be able to get this exact cheese, but any type of sharp cheddar cheese would be okay. And then I'm gonna just break the cheese up, put it on the patties, and then I'm gonna put my little bacon and onion mixture on top of the cheese. My husband is allergic to cheese, so he didn't have any cheese, but it's still good directly on the patty like that. And then I'm going to use my lovely little baking pan. I need a new one, but I love this one. I always use this to toast bread. If you pop it in the oven, it toasts the bread on both sides really nicely. And this is what everything looks like. I just cooked up some green beans on the stove really regularly with some water. And I'm using some pickles on the side because I like having pickles with mine. But y'all, this is so good. If you like patty melts, you might want to give this one a try. Next thing I want to share with y'all are these fish tacos, and y'all, these were very good. So I'm starting off with a big thing of water, and I know y'all are like, what you doing with that water, girl? So I'm letting the water come to a boil, and you want to go ahead and put some salt in the water, and this is what I'm going to use to cook my quinoa. Now if you have any type of chicken broth, you could use the chicken broth to cook the quinoa with, and it's very tasty that way. But I was actually saving my chicken broth for something else, so I went ahead and used some water to cook this chicken, to cook the quinoa in. So you just want to take some water, salt it, make sure you salt your water, and then just cover it up so that the quinoa can go ahead and cook through. And while I'm waiting for that to cook, I'm going to take my fish and wash it off in the sink, and then I'm going to season it in the sink as well. And you can season this any way that you like. Then I'm just going to put it on like a cutting board or a plate or something, and then I'm just going to take it over to the stove, and I'm taking a skillet, putting that on the stove with a little bit of grapeseed oil and letting it get hot. Once your oil is hot enough, I'm going to put this on the pan seasoned side down, and I like to put the seasoned side down because I'm going to season the other side while it's in the skillet. equipment, and as you can see, I've seasoned the other side now, and I'm just letting the flat side that I put in first cook. While that's cooking, I'm gonna go ahead and cut up the vegetables for our tacos, and I'm just cutting up some lettuce and tomato for that. So once the fish is done cooking, I just take it out and I'm going to slice it up. So here is everything plated up. I have my fish tacos with lettuce, tomato, and jalapeno peppers. So good. And I also have a mango salsa that I like to put on top, real good. And this is my quinoa with a little bit of parsley. The last meal I want to share with y'all is some steamed shrimp with some broccoli and some roasted carrots. So in my crock pot, I'm just going to add in some chicken broth that I had left over, and then I'm going to add about a half a cup of water in there. And I'm going to let that get a little hot, and then once it is hot, I'm going to add in the broccoli. Then I'm going to leave that to cook on low. And the reason I cook it on low is because you don't want the broccoli to get real mushy, and if you put it on high, it gets kind of soggy. So here is my lucky trusty pan again, and this time I'm gonna cover it with some foil, and I'm just gonna pretty much cover this all the way up because I want to roast something on here, and I don't want it to be really crispy or anything like that. So I'm just taking some frozen carrots, and I'm gonna take my fingers and kind of break these apart a little bit. And then I'm going to spread them out so that they are on a thin layer, just one layer, and you want to make sure that they're not all stacked on top of each other. Then I'm going to lightly sprinkle this with some grapeseed oil, and then I'm also going to season it, and I'm just going to season it with some salt and pepper.
Smile, oh baby, how you make me smile. Smile more when I see you. Smile less when I miss you.
Then I'm going to pop these into the oven at about 400 degrees. And my broccoli is almost completely done. They're not soft like I said. And then I'm going to just take my shrimp and put them directly on top of the broccoli, and then I'm going to season it up. I'm using some salt-free seasoning that I picked up from Dollar Tree, and I'm also going to use some lemon pepper because everyone knows that lemon goes really, really good with seafood. And here is everything plated up. I have my shrimp with the carrots and broccoli, and this is really, really good, y'all. It's a light meal, and if you like seafood and stuff, I think you'd like it. It's really, really quick. The cleanup is really quick, and it's filling as well. Thank y'all so much for watching. Please subscribe if this is your first time, and I hope to see you back here for another video. Bye, y'all.